Welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the key principles of strength training, and specifically going into progressive overload. Introduction to strength training principles. Strength training involves exercises that improve muscular strength and endurance. The primary goal is to improve muscular strength, muscular size through hypertrophy, and muscular endurance. If you want to learn a little bit more about this, go watch the previous video that goes specifically into hypertrophy. So, now, what is progressive overload? Progressive overload is the gradual increase of stress placed on the body during exercise. It's essential for gaining muscle strength, size, and endurance over time. So, how does it work? The body adapts to the stress imposed by gradually increasing the weight, volume, or intensity of an exercise. One of the main ways you can apply progressive overload is increasing weight in small increments. For example, if you bench 100 pounds today, aim for 105 pounds next week when you next have a bench. And just doing small increments like that. The reason why that's so important is because if you just stick at 100 pounds week after week, eventually your progress is going to taper off because your body's getting used to that. You need to do something that applies more stress to the muscle. So increasing the reps or sets while maintaining weight. For example, move from 3 sets of 8 to 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12 with the same amount of weight. That's important. You don't want to lower the weight and then increase the reps because then you might not be progressively overloading. Next, improve form and range of motion to increase muscle engagement. For example, moving from partial squat to full squat. And maybe this might just be if you're already getting basically full squat, going all the way down like ass to grass. Then reducing rest periods between sets and increasing intensity. This is probably the biggest one that I can work on. So, for example, going from like a 90-second rest to a 60-second rest. Problem with me is I've been going to the same gym for a while, and so I know basically everyone at the gym. And so I end up talking to one person or another person, and then you get those long conversations. Before you know it, you've been resting for 10, 12 minutes, and you've lost your entire pump. So this is probably the biggest thing that I could work on. Now, the final way that you can apply progressive overload is increasing training frequency. For example, training legs twice a week instead of once a week. So for me, if there's a specific body part that I'm lacking in, for example, this past year I've been really focused on my arms because my arms just proportionally were not as big as the rest of me. So instead of hitting it once a week, I'd hit it twice a week. Now, my split's pretty unique. I hit push, pull, legs, shoulders, arms. And before, I only did push, pull, legs, shoulders. And on push and pull, I hit on push I hit triceps, and on pull I hit biceps as well. And so I just added an extra arm day at the end of that, just so I can make sure that I'm hitting arms twice. And I've noticed a ton of growth because of that. So now let's get into the importance of tracking your progress. Tracking helps monitor your progress and ensure that you are applying progressive overload. So if you have no way to track how much weight you're doing, how many sets you're doing, how many reps you're doing, then it's going to be really difficult to know if you're actually applying progressive overload. And you're just guessing at that point. So the metrics to track include weight lifted, sets, reps, and even rest time. One thing that I do for me and my clients is we have an app on our phone, and along with having a smart meal plan and all your workouts, when you start a workout, it's going to let you go in and add each weight you do for each set, the number of sets that you do, and the number of reps you do. It's going to track that, and even the rest time. Then, when the next week rolls around, and you're hitting that same workout again, it's going to show you exactly how many sets and reps you did the previous week, just right there. So it makes it super easy to try and progressively overload. So for example, if I saw last week I did 225 on bench, maybe I'm going to try to do 230. Why is progressive overload so crucial? So the reason it's so crucial is because of the adaptation process. Your muscles adapt to the stress of exercise. Once they adapt, they need new challenges to continue growing. For example, if I am just getting started working out and I go and do 50 push-ups a day, right? Maybe the first day, those 50 push-ups are really hard. Right after that, I'm going to be super sore too, right? But a few weeks down the line, those 50 push-ups are going to get easier and easier as my body adapts. And eventually, that's just going to be a normal part of my daily routine, and it's easy, right? And so your progress is going to taper off like this as your body adapts and adapts. Versus if I continue adding push-ups, so for example, I start out doing 50, then a week after, then I go to 60 for that whole week, and the week after that I go to 70, and I just continue going up, then I'm going to continue to progress. So without progressive overload, your body will plateau, meaning you won't see the continued improvements in strength and muscle growth. One thing you want to make sure you're not doing when you're focused on progressive overload is overtraining. Now, what is overtraining? Overtraining occurs when you push too hard without enough recovery, leading to fatigue and injuries. You have to remember, balance is key. Applying progressive overload in small increments to avoid injury and burnout, incorporating rest days, and adequate recovery between intense training sessions is crucial. If you worked out 7 days a week, nonstop, let's say 2 hours a day, for 7 days straight, you're not giving your body enough time to recover before your next training session. Another thing that's important, not only rest days, is the adequate recovery in between, which that includes getting enough sleep. 8 hours of sleep is super important to be able to recover, and nutrition. I'll go more into that in future videos. So practical tips for beginners. Start small and build up. Begin with manageable weights and focus on perfecting your form. Especially when it comes to, for example, bodybuilding, the weights aren't as important as the form and the contraction of the muscle that you can get. So don't feel bad if you're only able to dumbbell bench 20 pounds, right? Everyone starts somewhere. And I even go down to 35, down to even to 20 pounds on incline dumbbell bench, just so that I can make sure I'm getting a good contraction. Incremental gains. Increase the weight and reps gradually. Small and consistent progress leads to long-term results. And listen to your body. If you're experiencing discomfort or excessive fatigue, make sure you're taking the time to recover. Overloading too quickly can lead to injury. Are you ready to take muscle growth to the next level? Start tracking your workouts and applying progressive overload in your next session. And focus on small, consistent improvements in either weight, reps, or sets. And if you want further help and guidance, feel free to join the premium community. In this community, there's one-on-one coaching, exclusive app access to the app we mentioned earlier, that you're able to have your smart meal plans and all your workouts pre-made, custom to your goals. But it also gives you the ability to track your weight, sets, reps, and even rest time. And you'll get access to the future advanced courses that are going to be coming out soon. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link below and schedule a free fitness evaluation. We can talk about your goals and see if we're even a good fit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.